All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video after the draft, but before rookie camp. And, we got a pretty good handle on what the 49ers roster looks like. They may add a piece here or there. They may, I would say maybe an edge rusher, maybe an offensive lineman, but for pretty much the roster that you see right now after the main part of free agency and now after the draft is the roster that they're going to go to training camp with this summer. So what you see is what you get. And this video, I want to talk a little bit about which 49er that's kind of thrust into a bigger role this year are we the most nervous about. Now, first, let's go into which players we're even talking about. All right. Which players are being thrust into a bigger role? One is Colton McKivitz at right tackle for Mike McGlinchey, for sure. One you could definitely say is Trey Lance. Him and Sam Darnold, being as far as they're, as far as they're not necessarily new players. In this case, Lance has been there. Darnold is a new player, but they're both, because of the injury to Purdy, being thrust into the limelight. Jake Moody, obviously taking over for Robbie Gould, is at kicker. Major move there. Drake Jackson with no more Willis, Amenahue, and Ebukam. Drake Jackson very much thrust into the starting role at the defensive end spot opposite Nick Bosa. Isaiah Oliver, now that Jimmy Ward has moved on in free agency, Isaiah Oliver comes over from the Falcons, and he'll be your starting nickelback, most likely replacing Jimmy. And then losing Azeez Al-Shaair, I mean, there's a number of ideas of who's going to replace him. Some people feel it'll be the rookie D. Winters or the rookie Jalen Graham. I think it's likely to be Marcelino McCrary-Ball, the second-year player. So those are the players that are really, because of off-season departures, because of personnel moves, those are the players that are going to be kind of, forced into bigger roles and asked to do a little bit more. Marcelino McCrary-Ball, Isaiah Oliver, Jake Moody, Drake Jackson, and Colton McKivitz are the ones that really stand out the most as far as guys that are going to, and then of course the quarterbacks, obviously Trey and Sam Darnold. Okay, so as far as, who am I nervous about? I'm really not nervous about Colton McKivitz. I think the Niners are fortified at right tackle. I think McKivitz can be as good or better a pass blocker as McGlinchey was. So I don't think the Niners lose anything as a pass blocker. They may even gain something. You also have other guys. You have Jalen Moore. You have Nick Sakel. You have Joey Fisher, who is an undrafted free agent. There's always the ability to go out into the veteran market and add another body. But I think overall, I'm not worried about Colton McKivitz. And if you talk to like Trent Williams, he's not worried about Colton McKivitz. But Colton McKivitz is going to play his game, and he's going to play to his potential. Is he going to wow you? Is he going to be a dominating player? Probably not, but he's going to be an effective player. And I'm not really concerned. To me, he's a veteran who can be trusted. Isaiah Oliver is an interesting one because, man, you lose a lot in Jimmy Ward. But Isaiah Oliver is coming off a year where he was terrific with the Falcons as a nickelback. I would say I have some concern about Isaiah Oliver, but still he wouldn't be at the top of the list. I don't have any concern about Marcelino McCrary-Ball. I really think he's a terrific player with instincts and speed and smarts. I think he's going to hit the ground running. The Niners are not going to miss a beat. I would say the two guys that I'm probably the most nervous about would be Drake Jackson and Jake Moody. Drake Jackson, I really believe in his talent. It's just a matter of what kind of offseason did he have? Is he coming in good shape? Has he put on that upper body muscle mass that he needed to? Has he become more sudden, more explosive? The only thing I would be worried about is that, unlike last year where you had Ebukam and Amenahue and Willis, and they could share the reps opposite Bosa, whoever plays opposite Bosa this year is probably going to have to play a more significant role. So it may not, if Drake Jackson's as good as Samson Ebukam, that would be great, but he may need to be better because Ebukam could come out of the game and here comes Amenahue. And Amenahue could come out of the game and here comes Jordan Willis. This year, Cleveland Farrell, Austin Bryant, Robert Beal, they're either guys that have struggled like Farrell, guys who are more run players than pass players like Bryant, or a guy like Beal who's really, really raw, really athletic, but totally unproven and didn't even play regularly on his college team. So Drake Jackson, I'm just worried about, can he up his game, play at a really high level, and stay on the field for a huge amount of snaps and play more like a starter's role opposite Bosa, as opposed to just one guy in a rotation of many. So that concerns me. That might be a tall ask, and that's why I'm talking about Leonard Floyd and Yannick Ngakoue and trading for Montez Sweat and those options, because I'm not sure that Drake can do it. So I love Drake. I think Drake's a huge talent. I think he's going to have a great NFL career. I know he'll be better than he was last year, but can he single-handedly fill in for Ebukam, Amenahue, and Willis? Might be asking a lot. Might be asking a lot. So I'm a little concerned there. My primary concern, believe it or not, is with the kicker, the rookie kicker, Jake Moody. Can he replace Robbie Gould? Robbie Gould never missed in the playoffs, and was very, very, very solid, inside of 50. So, I mean, if you kicked a 50-yarder, you didn't know, it was kind of 50-50, but anything inside of 50, 45-yarder, it was money. He was absolutely a very, very consistent kicker for the 49ers. And now they're going to a rookie. And granted, Jake Moody's nickname is Money, which is an awesome nickname for a kicker. And everybody at Michigan believes in him. I'll say that. Harbaugh does. All my Michigan fan friends are like, oh man, this guy's awesome. So they believe in him. And he didn't kick in a dome. He kicked, in Ann Arbor in the big house with the wind swirling in the Big Ten, where really from basically the whole season. I mean, if you play Big Ten football, the whole season is what we would call West Coast bad weather. It gets cold in the middle of September. It gets windy. The seasons change. There's there are hardly any. What Minnesota Golden Gophers they've played at times in a dome, but I mean most of these games are outside. You're playing in harsh conditions, turf, wind, changing of seasons, Midwestern weather. It's no joke. So I'm a little, and then you got to mix in, the differences between the NFL's hash marks and the college hash marks, the differences in the ball, the differences in every aspect of special team play. It sounded like, listening to Brian Schneider, the Niners special team coach, basically say that one of the things they did in the workout with Jake is they went out there with a snapper that wasn't even the snapper, and then they just rushed it, and the snap was totally botched, and the laces were in the wrong direction. He still pounded it right through from distance. So maybe Jake Moody is that special of a kicker. But if you said to me, all right, give me the young players. By definition, almost all these players are going to be young players. Give me the young player or two that's going to be thrust into the spotlight this summer that you're a little concerned about. I would be Drake Jackson. Can he play all the snaps and stay healthy and provide a consistent pass rush and play strong against the run and stand up to double teams and everything else that goes along with being a starter? Can he start at defensive end? And can Jake Moody replace Robbie Gould at kicker and have the 49ers not miss a beat? If both those things happen, I think those are huge positives that will really be positives as far as the 49ers' ability to have a great season, make the playoffs, and potentially win the Super Bowl. All right, hope you enjoyed our 49er video. Check out Pig in a Pickle. They've got 2 locations. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in Moran, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. In Emeryville, they're open Wednesday through Sunday inside the Emeryville Public Marketplace. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. And thanks to all of you for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.